Okay, let's get started. Cady's parents suck, and Aaron Samuels is a bottom tier guy. What's up, everyone? It's Christine, and today I'm going to be drawing Mean Girls characters with their pets. With Mean Girls being on Netflix, I was able to watch the characters again and look a little deeper than when I watched it when I was younger. These aren't the official pets from the movie, but just what I think the pets would be based on their personalities. Mean Girls is such a good movie, and definitely a product of its time, but I feel like it's a good movie when you ignore some of the iffier parts.
Call me back, and I'd be like, why are you so obsessed with me? So then for my birthday party, which was an all-girls pool party, I was like, Janis, I can't invite you because I think you're a lesbian. I mean, I couldn't have a lesbian at my party. There are gonna be girls there in their bathing suits.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah, there are a few scenes that make you kind of tilt your head nowadays, but I feel like most of the Mean Girls' success is based on such memorable characters. So, since we get such a good reading on their personalities based on everyone's performances, I think it'd be a good idea to put pets on them. So, let's get started. The first person I'm drawing is Karen Smith. I didn't really put much thought into her pet because it kind of seemed obvious by the way she's constantly curious. She isn't as mean as the others, and you can kind of see that in her wardrobe. Like, compared to Gretchen and Regina, she dresses a little more simply, or normal. Still with a hint of her friends' styles, but it's more of the simple girl next door kind of look. She's ditzy at times, but it's never really malicious. Like, she just genuinely doesn't know.
Slang from England. So if you're from Africa, why are you white?
What did he say?
She's the second most quotable character, so I thought a chameleon would be the best fit for her because it's an interesting creature and it's something she can carry around easily, and I feel like she would really bond with it. Like something she would take to school and show off, like show and tell. Because she doesn't really seem the type to really conform as much as her friends do. She's just doing what her friends say, with a little hint of what she does, like she'd be fine without them. She definitely takes a lot of inspiration from their wardrobes, but there's definitely a disconnect there. And I'm not saying she's innocent here because she's definitely complacent in what she and her friends say and do to people. But I'm saying she's kind of like a chameleon because her nature isn't necessarily shy, but she changes based on her surroundings and just kind of goes with the flow of things. She honestly seems like the most happy to be friends with Cady and the most friendly. Like in this scene, she just tells it straight up instead of defending Regina like Gretchen. Or in this scene, Karen asks, "How do you like North Shore?" She seems like the only person genuinely interested in Cady as a friend, even beating Janis in like the friendly competition. Or even when she hugged her after the Jingle Bell performance, no one else did. For this outfit, I kind of picked the baby pastel blue because it was one of my favorite outfits out of the movie, except this one. And it kind of summed up Karen's whole character in only like 3 colors, and I think that really suits her. Karen's outfit was pretty easy to put together, and it gives you a reading on her character. Nice, simple, and friendly. Also, she is the only qualified weather woman in the US, and nothing can change my mind. Now I'm drawing Gretchen Wieners. Her wardrobe was a little more difficult to find my favorite because she honestly has like one of the best outfit arrangements of the entire movie. But I settled on this one right here, but paired with the skirt, I just kind of liked it better in this skirt from this scene than the skirt she had on originally. And for her pet, I was kind of at a loss for this one because she likes trends and definitely doesn't want to be out of date. So I didn't really want to get her an exotic pet that would fall out of style eventually, or something she couldn't handle because like she'd be running around the house all the time trying to catch it and it'd just be too hard. But I didn't want to give her a common pet either because I feel like she would love an animal that's something a little more unique. Something to add to her title other than my dad make toaster strudel. So I settled on a pig because they're smart and they can kind of be like a dog. But one of those teacup pigs that she doesn't realize will turn into like 100-pound potbelly pig, but I feel like she would still keep it either way, because she'd grow attached. Because it's different, she would probably name it something like Penelope, and I feel like she would bedazzle it a little bit by adding like star stickers on the skin to make her pinks glitter. Also, with the pink, I feel like it just goes with most of her outfits because she kind of teeters between pink and salmon and red and orange, and I feel like the pig really matches that color scheme, so it would partially be about aesthetics for her. I feel like she would talk to the pig more instead of Regina or Karen or even Cady, because like she needs someone to talk to really, and I feel like she just needs a healthy outlet, and a pig might be a good choice, I don't know. I think Gretchen is the most quotable in the movie by far because she has so many good quotes.
That is so fetch.
But I feel like she's I was about to say the most disingenuous, but I feel like that's kind of Regina, but the second most disingenuous. Well, Karen felt more like a true friend. She is constantly talking behind people's backs, her own friends' backs, and wanting Regina to mainly talk to her, so she has all her secrets. But you can definitely see she suffers a lot from insecurity because she prides herself on being Regina's number 2. And when Cady starts getting in the way of that, you can see she starts to turn on Regina a lot more, while simultaneously kind of kissing up to her. She's definitely an interesting character with the way she has her own style, but also finds a way to adhere to Regina's style, and how at the end she doesn't really find herself so much. She just joins another clique, which I find interesting, and I kind of wish they delve more into that, but it's a movie that kind of leaves us with some questions after, and I'm fine with that. Her style is bold, but in a side character sort of way. And Gretchen, please get over Jason, you're too good for him. That's one thing I don't really like about these kind of movies, is the guys don't get demonized as much for doing stuff like this. Like, I get it's kind of realistic because society views women doing this sort of stuff a little differently than men doing this sort of stuff, but I wish there was more of a movie where he actually gets demonized in high school for it, with actual consequences. Next up is Janis Ian. I don't feel like she gets enough criticism from this movie. Don't get me wrong, I love her character, it's great, but I feel like she just does the same thing as Regina. Like, even the TikToks about it, when Cady comes to the school, she kind of sizes her up a little bit. And she doesn't help Cady as she's struggling to find a seat, she just laughs and watches her struggle. She's not really seen being nice to anyone, not even Damien. Like, maybe a little nice inviting Cady to her art show, but she didn't really do anything that Cady wanted. She never really asked for her interest. Damien asked for her interest, but Janis never did. She talks about justice, but she's just using another person to get her middle school revenge. I can understand, though, what Regina did was pretty messed up, but I feel like she definitely put her vengeance in front of actually growing and making new friends, because during the assembly where Miss Norbury was helping the girls apologize to each other, and don't get me wrong, I understand Regina kind of asked for it right there, but I mean, her doing that kind of made it impossible for peace, and she could have been growing this whole time, but instead she's been festering a bunch of hatred and revenge for Regina, when no one in high school really cares this much. But I get it, it's a movie. I mean, if she just took the high road and then everyone would apologize, and maybe the school could at least be a little better, but she kind of stopped all that progress, just so she can have that 1 minute of glory. She's definitely a victim in the story, but who says victims can't have victims? She did wrong to Cady, and Cady deserved a fresher start, but I don't think anyone else would give her that chance. For her pet, I did have a little bit of trouble trying to figure it out, because I was thinking maybe a rat, which you should know is actually highly intelligent pets and very clean, but it just didn't seem right because she's not exactly goth. I'm not saying rats are goth, but I kind of got that vibe. She just seems to only dress alternatively. She isn't really devoted to the aesthetic because you can see how her wardrobe changes at the end of the movie. I feel like she would just be playful, but not too much, like a dog, but a lazy dog. I was thinking a bearded dragon. They're basically like lizard dogs. You can play fetch with it and teach it a bunch of tricks, also make little outfits for it. It just seems like the type of pet that you can put down and it bask in the sun while she's painting, and I feel like that would be a good fit for her, something docile but still playful. Janis's wardrobe seems more like a shield than her actual wardrobe because it doesn't really look like she's put that much thought to it, and it's more like she's wearing armor. This feels more comfortable in her environment because she acts confident, but she has a lot of emotion pent up inside, and I feel like that's a good wardrobe to tell what her character is. Also, Janis, treat Damien a little nicer. Now we're on to Cady. And first of all, have you ever met a Cady spelled like that? Because I haven't. But anyways, I like Cady. She was a good sort of fresh perspective into high school. Naive, kind of like Frankie from Monster High. I don't feel like other movies do it as well. Because in this one, she's from a whole nother country, her parents are idiots, and she's never been to a school like this. You can really see in Lindsay Lohan's performance that she's oblivious to everything around her, and I don't feel like a lot of movies do that well. So I really like that in this movie. But one of my main criticisms of Cady in the movie is her getting together with Aaron Samuels at the end. Like, I get why she liked him as a person in front of her in math class. He was kind of cute, helped her out, even though she didn't really need help. But then he starts going down from there. Like, at the party, he said he was going to get her a drink, and Regina kisses him, and oh, I'm just noticing, she never got her drink. But even after he pulled away, he continued to kiss Regina, and got together with her after. And also, the thing she was saying to get him on her side was really easy to see through. He's a senior about to go into college, and he's dumb enough to fall for that. That's already a... Oh my gosh, I thought I saw a spider. That's already a red flag. But later on in the movie, she's still interested in him, which I get, but I mean, like, when he was offering to tutor, he was already with Regina, and he said she doesn't have to know. He's already a cheater. Like, he knew what he was doing. Like, he's sending all these signals, and when Cady finally makes a move, he's like, I can't do this to Regina. He's the one who suggested it. So he can't act all holy and say he can't do this to his girlfriend when he was already doing it. He's basically emotionally cheating on her. Like, sure, she was cheating too, but he didn't know that. And towards the end, I wasn't really buying their chemistry as much between them, because, I don't know, it just didn't work. Maybe a little bit, but not that much. Whatever. Her pet choice wasn't really that hard for me, because I didn't really think about it that much. I just imagined her with a German Shepherd. Maybe because it kind of matches her color scheme a bit more. But yeah, I didn't really think about it that much. I feel like she would just be the type to play with it outside. You know, she just seems like a German Shepherd kind of girl. That's kind of my only justification for it. She's outgoing when she feels more comfortable, like a German Shepherd for her outfit. Yeah, there's something they have in common. I used the outfit that was on most of the posters because she looks really nice in it. And it just kind of seems like the theme she always goes back to. Like the color scheme, that's her main color scheme. At the end, it just represents her style a lot more. Cady's outfit is kind of like Karen's, but a lot bolder colors. It's like she was already confident, but the color got more faded the more she experienced high school, which I thought was a cool addition, intentional or not, because she was confident at the beginning, but quickly fell to the social pressures of high school. And I'm gonna go on a little tangent here. I don't really like Cady's parents that much because they homeschool her the whole time, and it's basically like they keep her isolated and not let her go out with any friends, because it seems like from this movie she's never had like a friend her age, and then they just throw her out to the wolves and expect everything to be okay. And also they don't even know how to discipline her. It's just I didn't like the parents in this movie. I'm not sure if that's like a different opinion, but Also, Cady, tell me where you got those jeans. Okay, last but not least, Regina George. I feel like throughout this whole video, it's kind of been hyping up towards Regina. but I think she might be my favorite character out of the movie because she's snarky and vindictive and a life ruiner, according to Janis. But she's a really fun character. I like how she stood up for Cady in the beginning. I know it was out of trying to, assess the fresh meat, but she was the only girl to actually help Cady out. No other girls really did. They all just kind of went with the flow and let her flop around. Regina was the only one who gave her real structure. Their dynamic is really interesting because Cady kind of seems like a replacement Gretchen when Regina was starting to distance herself from Gretchen, which was strange because Regina definitely wanted to keep her under her control since she could see the threat that Cady was, but oh wait, now I'm actually starting to think that it has to do with keep your friends close but your enemies closer. The closer Cady was with Regina, the more she could control her. Maybe that's why Gretchen was replaced, because Gretchen was already under her control and Karen wasn't really much of a threat. So that's why I'm glad she got the ending she did. She does seem like the type to hold a bunch of anger in, and I feel like sports was a really healthy outlet for her because she actually got to make some real female friends. And I thought it was a good detail that all the girls went into different cliques of high school because friends fall apart and it made sense with the way they treat each other. It wasn't good for them to stay together any longer. I felt that her pet needed to be the most thought out because she's a very complex character. At first, I thought a husky because you know how high maintenance, strong temperament, kind of like her, but it just didn't feel right because you could see that she also has a soft side and craved actual close friendships and feel accepted, which a dog could help with, but I felt like she would want something a little more of a comfort animal. So then I thought, why not chinchillas? Because they're social creatures like she is, but they take a while to gain trust. You know, just something for her no one else could interfere with, that something for her to come home from all the high school drama and pet their soft fur. So I thought chinchillas would be the best pet for her because they would also be fancy for her wardrobe. Wasn't as great as I remember it, like the wardrobe. I definitely like Gretchen's more, but you can see how much it pops. Like you could just recognize a piece from what she's wearing. So I thought the pink skirt with a little bit dramatic shirt. Of course, her iconic jewelry and a purse and shoes. You know, just one of her more recognizable outfits. Something that would be a good look in front of a crowd. So yeah, I think chinchillas would be good because they would kind of be a comfort animal for her. Regina's outfits are bold and don't shy away until she starts to feel more self-conscious. You can see the baggier clothes she wears. Regina, you get that sports scholarship. I think that's it for the video. Tell me if you'd like any more characters for me to draw and analyze in the comments, and I'll see you next time. I hope you have a wonderful day and month. Also, if you like this art, you can go check out my Redbubble. I have these designs and different designs as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Try a sip. She drank the Kool-Aid, I can see it on your lips.